Okay, here's sort of part two or part one. And this box will have more to do with it. I just did, finish my other video about what happened with my house and how we're okay for now. But me and my young adult children that are still living here, we have come to a conclusion that we don't want any more terrible surprises, I guess you could say. For now, the bank will work with us, but as long as our name is not on this mortgage, we don't want to have to worry about someone and just pulling the rug out from under us, and then we have nowhere to go, especially in today's economy and the housing market situation and all that. So, that being said, by the time I post this video, I'm actually going to change my channel name, and I'll tell you why. We decided this house has so much to be worked on. Has so much to be fixed. My husband and I used to do remodeling. I say we used to do it. I could paint. I didn't cut things. I didn't do tile. I would be the one washing off the tile and the grout, once that was done. But I don't know how to do all those other things. And I have bad knees and all, so that would be difficult. But that being said, before I had to get my husband to move out, he had started helping do some things, but the situation got so bad that I had to ask him to go ahead and leave. And that being said, there's I probably mentioned in my first video, second video, I can't remember. We have, the hot water heater went out. We actually my son purchased one, and I ran it by my husband, like, is this something? What if we just went tankless? Would this work? Oh yeah, this will work. Till it stopped working after he moved out. Come to find out, a friend from our church that we used to go to came and looked, and he's like, this one's for propane, and you have a natural gas. You have natural gas in your house, and your house could have burnt down. I was like, oh my God, what? So, yeah. So that being said, he cut it all off for us. It's still in there, but just cut off. So we haven't had hot water for 2 years. In the summertime here in Texas, not so bad. Take a cold shower. You would really want to, because like today's first day of fall, tomorrow's going to be 101 here in Texas, which is crazy. So that's okay for now. But come winter, we have to boil pots of water on the stove and pour it in there. Now I know, yeah, we can work to try and get those things fixed, but yeah, it costs money, and we have me and my daughter have a lot of health issues, so we're not able to work quite as much, but we're trying to do what we can. So our plan, I'm sorry, as I said, if I ramble, I think my mind just keeps bouncing everywhere. Forgive me for that. Our plan is to, between now and late spring, early summer of next year, we can, if the bank works with us and all, and we're able to recoup those payments that just disappeared. I forgot to mention the one payment, disappeared from some scam or whatever. Well, the other payment went to a new account, and but I guess someone was wiring money or something, didn't have the full amount, so they froze the account. That one's supposed to come back to me, to where at least I'll get caught up on that. I'm hoping. But anyway, I'm sorry. Back to the original story of my house. There's the hot water that needs to I need a new hot water. I'm sorry. I need a new hot water tank for my home. That needs to be fixed. We have our back patio has a covered porch that my husband had built, and I think I mentioned that in one of the other videos. But someone came, put a new roof over it. Didn't know what they were doing. Water leaked through. Now the wood is rotting. So I need that fixed. Paint's flaking off the house. I need to paint the house. What's the other thing? Hot water. Oh, and we haven't had AC. Now, the friend of ours that does AC and has his own business, he looked at it, said I could get a used compressor for a pretty decent price. So we can eventually do that to where we'll have heat. But right now, we basically use these plug-in heaters, not the kind that have like some dangerous flame or anything. They just blow warm air. So we have those during the wintertime to keep warm. So we're okay for that. But the AC, we figure we'll try and get that fixed by the time right before we're ready to leave anyway. So yeah, I've got boxes of tile that we had bought that my husband had started putting up, didn't finish it. So I still have boxes of tile. I have a pallet of tile. We had put the wood floor, not wood floor. It was tile that looks like wood floors. I had even made sure I got special grout through Amazon to make sure it matched good. I repurposed some old cabinets to do other things. I'm sorry, I just realized the ring light shows up in my glasses when I get too close. Maybe you can see it now, but I don't like that look. Anyway, so we got a pallet of tile to do my son's bedroom. He used to work overnights at Amazon, so we couldn't tile his during the day because he slept during the day at that time. So I got a pallet of tile out there to do that. I have backsplash tile and a lot of these things we got during the pandemic when we got some funds to try and, it wasn't a whole lot, but we were trying to fix things that needed fixing because this house was built in 1960. Excuse me, but I tried to find things that didn't look awful, that still looked good, but were the best price I could get. I'm a very frugal person. So I think I did pretty good considering. We went with butcher block countertops. We kind of rearranged the kitchen a little bit. I had my husband put in a pantry, but I have the door jamb, I guess, that goes around the outside of it, but that was never put up. I don't know what the little little pieces of wood that goes around the baseboard, toe kick or something like that. I had a ton of that. That was never put in because we just got in a really desperate situation. So me and my daughter were thinking, okay, if we could try and work a little bit extra, even though we do have, our job is a lot of walking and lifting and all that. And we have like knee issues, bone spurs, all these different things. But we're like, if we can try and push through at least maybe an extra day of work between now and then maybe we can try and get enough money to fix some of these things on the house so that by spring or summer of next year, we could sell it. And here's the kicker, what we want to do. And we wouldn't be able to really buy another house in this market. What we're thinking we want to do is buy tiny homes. Depending on how much money I get, there's not a whole lot owed on this mortgage. So it depends on, what I can do and how much I can get. But what we're thinking is, even if it's just a little something, it'd be better to have something that's owned outright and we're not connected to anyone that we have to go through to try and make payments and have to worry about the money disappearing and worrying about losing our house again. So, excuse me, that's where I get to changing my channel name. Because first it was Journey to Joy. But after I come up with that name, I was on YouTube looking, and I'm like, my gosh, the list of those names of channels of Journey to Joy was like this long. And I'm like, well, shoot, how's anybody going to find me? Now, the name I'm going to come up with to change, I don't know. There could be lots of other ones that name too, but it makes more sense to me. And I will tell you what it is. Instead of Journey to Joy, we're going to be Big Tiny Dreams. Because it's not like we've been thinking tiny just all of a sudden. We actually thought we might do this, a year ago. But things just kept happening. There's a channel that I started watching called Incredible Tiny Homes. I started watching that channel with Randy and Amanda before they even built a community. I remember him riding around. I don't know if it was like a golf cart or Jeep or something. And they're rolling over all the dirt saying we could do a prairie, we could do the forest and these other places. And I've been watching all these years. I just have been so fascinated. I've watched things on minimalism. I've watched, I think there was one on Home and Garden TV or something like that I've watched. And I've subscribed to tiny home listings. And I've been thinking, okay, maybe we could do this. And even though I do have my oldest daughter up there, she has actually encouraged me to, you know, she says, sell the house, Mom. Go, be free, and they'll come visit us, and maybe we'll get to come visit them. But my sister's in South Carolina. But anyway, so I have her over there. I had thought about going out that way, but when it comes down to it, it comes to affordability and living simple, downsizing, and being free. I would rather own something outright. One thing I've learned with what I went through with my husband and having to move him to the living room, I stayed in my bedroom all the time. It was just too overwhelming, too much. Oh gosh, emotion, trauma, all that kind of stuff. I just felt scared, and so me and my kids, we stayed in our own rooms. And Christmas, being the two kids that were here, we put a little Christmas tree here in my room, and we had our own little thing. We just kind of we couldn't really do anything with him, even the kids, unfortunately, and they loved him dearly too. But you know, they even tried to talk with him and about changing his ways and wanting a relationship with him, but it just didn't work out, unfortunately. But anyway, the reason I bring that up is I've learned to do a lot in this small space. I think it's like my room is 12 by 15. I have a big TV on the wall because when being my husband was on disability, there was a time his health was worse at one time, and I wanted to help him get a TV to be able to watch some things while he was back here a lot. So when he left, I ended up getting to keep it, and I have a desk that you see me sit at doing the videos. I have an armoire. I'm not showing it right now because I have a pile of junk because of this right here, the thing that we're gonna do. I've learned, I can do this. I would rather live where I don't have to just work all the time to pay for more stuff. I could still work. As I said, I'm a grocery picker at Walmart, and I know it's not like a white collar job like people might think is more important, but I actually like my job. I love to walk. I get to walk. The only thing is my shoulder does have a bad shoulder, but I try and lift more with this arm. And people help me sometimes when I'm having to stage my items in the freezer or the fridge. But I love all the walking, all the exercise. So I would rather be doing that, because if I had a desk job, I would fall asleep, I'm telling you, because when I've had to go in the back room at Walmart where the computers are to do what they call CBLs, which is computer-based learning, I guess is what that stands for, trying to do those, I'm like, about to fall asleep. I don't know why. And sometimes like that, even watching a movie, but I prefer doing that exercise, and actually it's better for me. But that being said, I do have knee and shoulder and all that, but I just wear a support sleeve over my knee when it starts acting up, and I do what I can. And I have great bosses. I love the bosses I work with, and the people I work with. So, and of course my daughter works with me, so can't ask for better than that. So we work the same hours, same job. So anyway, I know I keep getting sidetracked, so forgive me. I hope I'm not boring you all. But my point is, I've learned to live in a small space, and without having heat and air out there. Well, of course, in the wintertime, we did a built-in fireplace thing, a faux fireplace. I'll show some pictures of that sometime as I get things cleaned up. But I had bought one of those electric fireplaces that you can have it just for aesthetics, the beautiful flames and different colors, has a remote control, but it also heats. And at the time I told my husband, I said, what if, because we got it at Sam's Club, I saw it on sale. I said, what if we got this and like mounted it on the wall instead, and then build a box around it? I wanted like a cottagey look. So I did that. And this was when we got stimulus money from the pandemic, because as I said, we were trying to fix up this house. We had to replace a window and all that kind of stuff. So I went to Floor & Decor and it feels just like real brick. It may be real brick, but just like thin slivers of it with the net behind it, or whatever you call that. I don't know the technical term, but we had the box built. My husband did it. We have a mantle with, I think, 2x12s or a 2x12 mantle. And I got the mortar for it, but he put the brick up but never did the mortar. I have some decorative wood pieces from Lowe's that go on it, but we didn't get that done. So all that's undone. But my point is, because I keep going round and round, sorry. My point is that I have that for heat out there. So it's mainly summertime. We don't hang out there much because it's too stupid hot. I mean, this is Texas. That's one reason why we're like, you know what? We have, there's too much baggage, too many bad memories, too much trauma, and it's too freaking hot. We can go up to Tennessee or South or North Carolina, but right now I'm thinking of possibly, if they're not all sold out by the time I'm able to do this, the tiny home community with Randy and Amanda. Because I watch them all the time. So, yeah, if we're able to fix some of those things and get, I'm not looking to get wealthy off my house, but just enough to where I can give a little bit of money to my son because he wants to stay and do his own thing. He said he might get, I don't know, his own little tiny home down here or either a nice camper or something. Because there's some really nice ones that a lot of people live full time in those anymore. Because he's got a lot of opportunity down here. So that's fine. And then me and my daughter want enough to, if we can afford two for one for each of us. She said she wants to pay me back, for whatever I get her. So I said, if I get enough money, part of that money will be gifted, and you won't have to pay that part back. But worst come to worst, we'll get those little Incrediboxes boxes because I'm like, hey, we can make it cute. We'll be fine. I've been living in a small space right now. We can do it. So that's part of why I got the box out. She got the boxes. She's like, I know we figured out it's like between 6 and 9 months when we would probably want to do this. Hopefully we can conquer all these things and do this. So in the meantime, we're like, let's start now because we don't want to wait till the last minute and try and go through all our things. We have already downsized a little bit, but when I moved in here, my mother-in-law had passed away before then. I still had her things here. Then my father-in-law remarried and I had some of his things left here. And then when my husband moved out, I had a lot of his things. So I've been going through all these other things of like, get rid of or give to Goodwill, throw away, or keep. And I thought I would share some of that process. I'm not going to show it now. I've already started a little bit, but maybe I'll take y'all with me and show y'all what I'm doing. And hopefully I won't embarrass myself too much with how my house looks and stuff. But, when you start pulling stuff out, you're going to have piles everywhere. But I'm hoping that, that we can do this. And maybe y'all join me in the journey. Join me in the journey. Join me on my journey to joy with Big Tiny Dreams, because that's what I feel like it is. It's a big, tiny dream. And hopefully this will work out for us. Oh, and I forgot to say, one of the reasons I am interested in Tennessee, when I was just a child, my grandparents owned a little place in the Smoky Mountains in Gatlinburg. It was, I think it was called Great Outdoors of America or something like that. And I think they changed the name, Great Outdoors of Gatlinburg or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, it was a very nice community where you owned your own lot and you bring a really nice camper. They had like an Olympic-sized swimming pool. They had an adult swimming pool on the other end. They had basketball courts. They had miniature golf. They had a community building with like where you could do your washing, your laundry. And it had like a little cafe where you could get hamburgers, cheeseburgers, different things like that. Maybe even breakfast stuff. And I think they might have even had a stage to do, whatever community stuff. But I remember going to church there in the building as a little girl with my grandmother. And I think you could rent bicycles, but I had the best memories there. And from what I understand, Incredible Tiny Homes area, I think that's only like 30 minutes or maybe 45, I don't know, from there. And I just have the best memories of going there. And not only that, when I was like 12, I think it was 12 or 13, maybe 13, I went with the youth on a trip in the church. The youth group got together and They took us to the Smoky Mountain National Park, and we camped for like a week or so. And it was, I can't remember what year it was. I can't, gosh, I can't remember the year, but it was when they had the World's Fair in Knoxville, Tennessee. So we camped out. They had like the girls' side of camp. Then they had the place set up for cooking in the middle. Then they had the boys' side. And yeah, they took us to the World's Fair. We had to come up with so much money, I guess, for the trip. So we paid that in advance. But it got to where they had been so frugal and everything, they actually started giving us money back so we could go shopping and stuff. They would take us to Gatlinburg and we'd shop at the little shops. And then we got to go to the World's Fair. It was just, there's just so many great memories there, and it's so beautiful. And I think it would just be great for me and my kids to have a fresh new start because of all the things that we've gone through. So, yeah, I want to invite you all to join me on this journey and see what happens next. Hopefully we'll make it in that amount of time, and I'll share with y'all along the way. So thanks for watching. I'm sorry if this was too long. And yeah, I am one of those kind of people that I have to stop. My friend Yvette tells me stop self-doubting. So Yvette, the one we're praying for, love you, sister friend. I've got a couple of good sister friends, 2 or 3 and she's one I've known since we were like, I think I was 5 or 6 and she was 7 or something like that. So yeah, she told me this really made her day doing some videos. So I'm like, girl, you've encouraged me to keep doing them, if nothing else, to help you on your road to recovery. Because yeah, I'm sorry, I will put myself down sometimes. I'm trying to stop doing that. But yeah, I think I'll stop now because I'm rambling. But thank you guys for watching. And if you like this video and some of the others, if you give me a thumbs up, if you'd subscribe, ring the little bell that we can get notifications, because I'm going to try and keep at this. I'm going to try not to give up. I've enjoyed it so far, and hopefully you have too. So God bless. Excuse me. God bless, and y'all have a good evening. Bye-bye.